What's your favorite? How did you get? When will I be remembered? Was it ever? Where did all the other weeks know? Oh, forget it. Soren, Louis, Daniel O'Brien, two best friends and comedy writers. If there's an answer, they're gonna find it. I think you'll have a great time here. I think you'll have a great time here.
Welcome back to the podcast. Quick question with Soren and Daniel, two American dads talking to you. By the time you listen to this, we will have recorded this last week, and it might be tonight. Folks.
That's the kind of joke you could expect from this podcast. Some really good thinkers. Two American dads growing up in the heartland. Of
Soren,
America. Go ahead. Sorry.
I got huge news for you.
What happened?
This is big. I was tooling around our old stomping grounds, cracked.com, and I saw this massive announcement that Cracked will be making its first ever appearance at South by Southwest.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting for them. Oh, because we tried to go a couple of times. It just never.
Yeah.
It's too big of a venue. It's too big. It's too important, and they weren't going to have the likes of us. What are they doing?
It's so. I mean, they South by has come and gone at this point. And for those not picking up on the sarcasm or those unfamiliar with the lore, we, as Crack.com, have been to South by so many times.
We created it.
An insane amount of times.
We were the ones who were like, what if we did a big festival in Austin, Texas?
They were like, let's straighten Austin out. And we were like, no, let's keep it weird. Keep Austin weird. And they're like, okay. And Soren brought them some of that famous Colorado barbecue that they're now known for.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just struck me funny because it was a huge deal when we went to South by for the first time in 2011, maybe.
We did a whole sketch show there.
And then every subsequent year for like 5 or 6 years, like we looked forward to it. It was a big. We were performing. We were hosting events there.
Yeah.
You and I did some very strange thing where we played like we sort of played a video game live with an entire theater full of very disinterested people. We were like, the way Soren and I are your hosts, and the way this game works is you all have to download a game now, and half of you are going to press this button, and half of you are going to press this other button, and one of you is on Soren's team, and one of you is on mine. We are not playing somehow. We just sort of like shout at you and entertain you while you maybe do this with some pretty spotty Wi-Fi. The point is, we've been doing a lot of South by stuff.
I want to
go ahead. Sure.
Talk about that when we went that time, because we went to a tech award show. I think it was
the Interactive Awards we hosted and
Interactive Awards. That's right.
Yeah.
James Adomian was there, and we would. I can't remember exactly why, but we made a video for it, and it was like a video to get everyone pumped up for it. And I wrote it, and I look back on it, and I'm like, that's one of my favorite things I wrote, because I talked about like the evolutionary, like the technological evolution of humanity and how far we've come and how impossible it was for us to, how exciting it was that we faked a moon landing. And a lot of the video was dedicated to the technological achievement of faking a moon landing and what a big event that was.
Great stuff.
It still makes me laugh a lot that we showed that to a room full of scientists.
They never knew exactly what to do with us at the Interactive Festival.
No, it was great.
For some reason, the people who ran that festival, that award show, really loved what we were doing. And I think they were the two people who ran it, I think, were the only ones who were Cracked fans. Everyone else was like, okay, It's these weird fucking 20-somethings again doing something unexpected. Last time it was a sketch video. Now it looks like there's beatboxing and live rap music happening.
Oh,
okay.
that's right.
All right. We're here for... We're the people who run social for the Mars rover. This is the biggest day of my life, and I have to sit through these weird nerdcore rappers first.
Yeah, that's right. That was you and Michael and Cody performed
Yeah.
there, didn't you? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Incredible. Anyway,
All of which is to say, going to crack.com today and learning that for the very first time, it just feels like nothing matters. I know nothing matters, but like nothing matters.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about it is that a lot of what you remember as your achievements at crack.com outside of video, because that lives on YouTube and it's its own thing, a lot of that's gone.
It's all
I went
gone.
back. I started to watch the new Superman, the newest. That's just it, the newest Superman.
2025 Superman?
Yeah.
Great.
And there's a lot of what they're doing in there is points that I had made in a Cracked article long ago about like why it's so hard to make a good Superman movie, and I was like, and here's how I would do it. And like they're doing a lot of that, I think, independent of me. I don't believe that they read this movie, this article, but I was like, I wanted to revisit it and be like, I want to see how right I was. It's an impossible article. I found the article. I'm pretty sure it's impossible to read it. It's impossible to do anything to interact with it in any capacity. So I was just like, well, never mind. There was also another Onion article. When I say another, I mean they have a long history of landing on the same things that we did. But they did there was this thing tying Sex in the City with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I was like, I think I wrote an article about that. Like, how, like, mapping sets of 4 to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I was like, I know we definitely did it in After Hours, but I think I also wrote an article at one point. So I was trying to find it. And I was like, I have to give up. This isn't going to work.
That's a shame. A decade of our resume is just unfindable and unreadable.
It's insane. We worked so hard. You think about how hard you worked on every single one of those columns, how you didn't finish any of them until 2 a.m. because you had the rest of your job to do. Or sometimes even later than that. Sometimes it would publish. You'd publish it an hour late and stuff published at 5 or 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So you were up all night working on it. And then you'd be like, okay, I did it.
Yeah.
And you were proud of it. Not anymore.
And it was like, hit and publish on your legacy. It's like, this is my contribution to the pantheon of comedy writing.
I hope you all enjoy this article, but I have to have sex with Kesha as a form of punishment to both of us. Hey everybody, as you probably well know, I have a cat named Bethany. She's a wonderful cat, but there's nothing worse than when I know my cat is in the house, but I can't find her because it means that she's hiding somewhere because she is sick. She's not feeling good. And it's so hard to look at a cat and know what's wrong. If you ever found yourself awake at 2 a.m., phone in hand, Googling things like, is this normal for dogs? Or do I need to call the vet right now for my cat? You're not alone. Those moments of panic come with pet ownership, and they're exactly why ASPCA Pet Health Insurance exists. It helps take the financial question out of the equation, so when something feels off, you can focus on getting your pet the care they need instead of stressing over the cost. When you enroll in an ASPCA Pet Health Insurance plan, you could get a $25 Amazon gift card. It's a little treat for you while you're doing something great for your pet. And what are you doing that's great for your pet? Let me break it down for you. The program offers customizable accident and illness plans, making it easier to get your pet the care they need. It's been around for almost 20 years and has covered nearly 1 million pets in that time. You can tailor your plan to fit your budget, your lifestyle, and your pet's particular quirks. Because big vet bills never show up when it's convenient, do they? To explore coverage, visit aspcapetinsurance.com/question. That's aspcapetinsurance.com/question. Eligibility restrictions apply. Visit aspcapetinsurance.com/Amazon terms for more info. This is a paid advertisement. Insurance is underwritten by either Independent American Insurance Company or United States Fire Insurance Company and produced by PTZ Insurance Agency Limited. The ASPCA is not an insurer and is not engaged in the business of insurance.
As I was reading the Cracked article about their first ever appearance at South by Southwest, it did make me, well, I had two thoughts. One, I think Simon Gia is still the only Cracked employee who has survived.
Simon's still there?
I believe so. If you go to like the About Us and the team, he's still there. So I guess Simon, putting you on notice, man, you were there, not at South by, but like, do you remember how once a year all of your coworkers left to go somewhere? That was South by. You can flag that the next time your new coworkers say it's the first time they're doing a thing.
I've talked to you about this before, but I would love to get Mandy on one of these podcasts to just talk about the real reasons that the Cracked failed. Cracked fell apart. Because it happened with a sale, and it happened based on like numbers that people were confused by in the sale, and the sale to Scripps, EW Scripps, and how that was like the beginning of the end, and how that destroyed everything. Yeah. There were some other things that helped, certainly. Facebook's weird bait and switch with the algorithm for video.
Yeah,
when
Facebook.
A lot of comedy websites decided video was important.
A broader content bubble bursting that affected all of us. There are a lot of strange elements. There's I think I hope this doesn't feel like too much of a scoop or putting someone on blast, but like a legend in the podcast game, Adam Sachs, I think bears a not insignificant amount of responsibility. He was the guy who was Earwolf, podcast network Earwolf. That was like his baby. And that got partnered with Midroll. That was sold to Scripps before Cracked was sold to Scripps. And Scripps acquiring Earwolf was one of the things that gave our bosses tremendous confidence and faith in Scripps as a company. We were like, They were like, oh, they purchased Earwolf. They purchased this like undeniably hip, cool, everyone wants to be there comedy podcasting brand. This Scripps team, they must know what they're doing. This is a good move. And like Adam Sachs was in communication with our people. I remember when we were sold, I talked to Adam Sachs and I was like, this is good, right? This is your Earwolf. We're partners in this thing now. You like Scripps? And he was like, totally, I definitely like Scripps. And a few months later, he left Earwolf and did his own thing. And there's a podcast that I tracked down that I think Alex Bloomberg did with Adam Sachs, where he's very frank about like, Earwolf was destroying my life and I was working so hard on it and I just needed to like get rid of it and get out of there. And I found a company that was going to take it. And it took me a long time to leave because I had to sign this big non-compete thing that had him like not work for anyone else for a year or so. But it's just a thing that was always simmering in the background that like the template that we used as proof that the water was fine to jump in with Scripps was a guy who like by design did not care about the future of his company and just wanted to sort of like save his mental health and cash out, which is good for him. It's fine.
Yeah, he did.
It's just for years after Cracked's implosion, I was collecting everything. I was like all these little pieces for why this thing fell apart. And that was one of the data points that I was like, this is kind of interesting.
When we say fell apart, we mean like there was a mass firing, but there was also, I mean, there were people that stuck around and then dealt with whole other nightmares there. Alex Schmidt being one of them who stayed with the company. The company was sold again to like iHas Cheeseburger.
Mm-hmm.
And he dealt with all kinds of terrible things there. He dealt with like them trying to slowly, because he was doing the Cracked podcast at that point and was doing something, what is essentially secretly incredibly fascinating now, he was doing like some really interesting stuff. He was finding these little details from the world and being like, this is a thing you should know, which was like the crack ethos. Like that's what we were fucking doing. And so he got it, and he had a really good podcast on his hands, and they were like slowly trying to strip that away from him and come up with cause against Alex Schmidt. And so he was like,
America's sweetheart, Alex Schmidt.
Which is diabolical. Like the nicest person in the world who works hard as hell at any job he has. Yeah. And they were like looking for cause to fire Alex. And I was like, this is what happened.
Yeah.
This place fell apart. I'll say that we have a mutual friend who's working on some sort of content about this age of like sketch comedy on the internet, which is very exciting, very cool. I can't wait to see what they do, because there's so many people, different people from that age that are like, they were doing incredible things. They were making like, we all thought we were pioneers, man. It was the internet was the Wild West. We were all making sketch comedy there. It was all like fly by the seat of your pants. We're making it for nothing, for no money. And everybody's doing that. And we're finding other people out there who are doing it. We're like, please come on Cracked. Please. Like and I met like a lot of great people that way. They'd make the guys that were making periods. Like now the man who created that he's on, he was on Big Mouth. He was on Human Resources. He's been on a bunch of other shows. And you look at what happened with Good Neighbor. Like they've got illustrious careers.
Britannic, debuted 2 movies at South by Southwest last week. They're written and directed by Pizza Movie, which is out on Hulu now. Check it out everywhere Hulus are Hulu'd.
So funny.
And I forgot the name of the movie that they adapted that Yorma from Lonely Island directed, but that is their other movie. I've given you enough information that you can find it by Googling.
You can find it on your own. Yeah. Rachel Bloom, like all these people Sam Richardson, all these people that early on felt like we were all in this secret club. It was like, this is incredible. This is like, we're the voice of a generation.
Yeah. And like the downer of it. And I know people don't love when we talk about the crack.com days.
I think they do.
And we're doing fine, and everything's fine, and I'm doing fine. But the downer is when we think about that time. We think about this time as like, it's us, and it's Britannic, and it's Good Neighbor, and it's Sam, and it's Rachel, and it's Michael, and Abe, and Cody, and all these people, and Katie, and Katie are doing all of these things. And like, what a cool time that was. What a fun time capsule it will be for someone to look back on and say, wow, look at all the people who were here doing stuff. And it turns out
they can't.
No one's going to remember it, because this is the first time Cracked is going to South by Southwest, and nothing matters.
Because the site has been erased. And no one will remember any of this.
I wonder how. So Cracked was a mad ripoff magazine in 1958 that did have a lot of great illustrators and comic writers at that time, and had gone through a bunch of different iterations before it was revived as a website in 2006, and we all came on board and made it the Cracked that we fell in love with. I'm sure there were people that I didn't pay enough attention or respect to when I was steering the ship at Cracked. I was not thinking about the legacy of like the 1958 magazine or anything. I'm sure there were like old comics writers who were like, we went to South by Southwest in 1962. And now I'm the old curmudgeon.
Yeah.
I don't know, Art Spiegelman, who worked for Cracked.
No, he did not.
No way, Art Spiegelman.
No. I don't know, actually, and which is probably the problem. I'm sure that they look back and they're like, who the fuck are these guys?
I know.
That's actually not true, because every time that Cracked regularly when I'm on Facebook, I see them posting new videos on there, and it's us. It's us doing things. And I'm always like, it's always a surprise to me, because we did so much content at once. It's like you forget a lot of what you were doing while you were there. And a video will show up, and I'm like, oh, this sounds interesting. And I'll start watching it. I'll be like, oh, I'm in this. Oh, I fucking wrote this.
Cracked will do 24-hour YouTube streams of After Hours
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
doesn't completely make sense. Like, what do you mean? Just go to YouTube and type the episode that you want to see. I don't understand the purpose of a 24-hour. Just like, I'll get like a tweet or a Blue Sky about it. It was like, hey, look, there's it's a live stream again. I'm like, but of what? Of the videos that just live there? Just watch them. What's happening?
But you have to create the playlist or whatever. It's like on television. My show has whole days of American Dad marathons. And I'm like,
hell yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right. That's good. That's nice. It's nice to just have it on in the background and not have to choose that you're going to go somewhere else.
I can't think of anything worse than if my show Last Week Tonight had once a year just done 24 hours. Just like, stream a whole season, stream 30 straight hours of John telling you how bad things are.
Yeah, John talking about the mayor of a town in Canada. You're like, what? He's been mayor for 12 years. Rob Ford, was that his name?
Yeah, Doug Ford or Rob Ford. There are two Fords, and they're both pretty bad.
The crackhead Fords.
Yeah. One of them died, and the other one was like, don't worry about it. I feel the exact same way as him about everything.
We're brothers, like the Cuomos. So Dan, we should do this actual podcast that we do.
Okay.
At some point, I think we should have Mandy on at some point. I think it would actually be very boring, but very informative to people because not that Mandy's boring. Mandy's great, but it's like it has to do with CPMs and stuff like that and international expectations that are. It's all these numbers that people didn't understand, except for her. Like people buying the company didn't understand, and then we're confused by, and then we're mad about, and that's basically it.
What should have tipped us off is that the sale went through, and then within a few months, our editor-in-chief and our head of business left.
Quit.
That should have been, that should have given someone like me a heads up that all was not well in Denmark.
Well, folks, it's spring. It's exciting. It's always exciting when spring rolls around again. Everything starts melting. Obviously not in my part of the country. There's never even been water here. But spring is a good time to simplify because your schedule is about to get chaotic. Between work, workouts, school stuff, and just trying to have your life together, dinner can't be another stressor. ButcherBox delivers premium staples straight to your door so your meals feel intentional, nourishing, and consistent, even when everything else around you feels like it's all over the place. Or let's face it, falling apart. Is it time to improve your dining experience? I say yes. Check out today's sponsor and go to butcherbox.com/QQ for $20 off. Free shipping always, and new listeners can get their choice between chicken breast or top sirloin for a year. Or, if those don't tickle your fancy, ground beef for life. For over a decade, ButcherBox has led the industry with meat and seafood that's antibiotic-free, hormone-free, and independently verified. Because when it comes to fueling your body, quality isn't extra. It's everything. Clean, whole protein means better support for strength, metabolism, and that steady all-day energy we're all chasing. ButcherBox delivers over 100 premium protein options straight to your door, including 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, crate-free pork, and wild-caught seafood. And whether you're dialing in your nutrition this spring, or fueling workouts, or feeding a family with strong opinions, and whether you're dialing in your nutrition this spring, fueling your workout, or feeding a family that just has strong opinions about everything, or you're just trying to make dinner feel less chaotic, ButcherBox offers full customizable plans that fit your routine and your goals and your schedule. It shows up when you need it, so healthy eating is the easy choice, not the exhausting one. And if you're worried about sustainability, every product meets the same rigorous standards, whether you're cooking a filet mignon or popping chicken nuggets into the air fryer. It's all quality across the board. As a certified B Corp, ButcherBox is committed to doing things right, from how the animals are raised to how their teams support workers and reduces environmental impact. Something I think about a lot, considering we have no rain. Plus, every box ships free, and members get access to recipes, tips, and exclusive deals that make eating clean, high-quality protein simple, consistent, and actually doable. I got a bunch of chicken from them. I got so many chickens. They sent me so many chickens. And honestly, it's been wonderful. It's forced me to try a bunch of new recipes. I've tried things I've never done before, and every one has been a hit. I love having this on my menu and on my plate every day. As an exclusive offer, new listeners can get their choice between chicken breast or top sirloin for a year or ground beef for life. Plus $20 off when you go to butcherbox.com/QQ. That's right, your choice of chicken breast or top sirloin for a year or ground beef for life. Plus $20 off your first choice and free shipping always. That's butcherbox.com/QQ, all lowercase. Don't forget to use our link so they know we sent you.
So yeah, for anyone who doesn't know canonically what happened, the company was constantly in trouble after that. And like we kept, when I say in trouble, like we had to go visit mom and dad and get yelled at, which means that we were going to EW Scripts in Cincinnati, I think.
Yeah, fucking Ohio. It doesn't matter.
And we would go to get yelled at. And at one of these trips, I already
we
knew
were very, very quickly. We did not know we were getting yelled at. We were just summoned there. It was like, come to Ohio. And it was like, okay, I like trips and hotels. So sure. But they didn't tell us to prepare anything or what the expectations were. And we just had like a couple of days in conference rooms where, the heads of their other brands were talking about how cheap they made videos for. Like doing a presentation for us that I thought was was designed to impress me. And I was like, hey, man, you should be really proud of that. That's cool. You made 200 videos for $19.
they look like
that's
shit.
Nuts. That sucks. I'm not going to watch it. But like, you seem pretty. Cincinnati is the Hollywood of who gives a fuck. This is cool. You should be real proud.
Well, we go there. Yeah, we get this dressing down. I guess we didn't realize at the time was that. But during one of the last ones that we had where we had to go there and they were really upset with us. For not making enough videos at once. I already had a new job. Like I had something else lined up. And like on that trip I was planning on telling Mandy. And she was so sad when I told her that I was going to American Dad. Because she was like, she just felt so kind of like in the dark. She knew they weren't great specifically to her. They were pretty rough on her and actually. And she had friends. She had friends at the site, and the friends were leaving. Jack had left. Michael had left, and I was leaving. And I think that there was, in her mind, it was like, am I going to be the only one here? Am I the only one who goes to Cincinnati from now on to get yelled at?
Is my friend Jason now?
All right, let's do the show. We've talked enough about the things people have been dying to hear about. Now let's just talk about some bullshit. Yeah. As you know, my kids are in baseball right now, Daniel. And
your kids are in baseball right now.
They're in baseball. I'm coaching one of the teams, and I'm soft coaching the other one. That just means that I'm available all the time. I get out there and I coach first base and stuff for however you can do that for a coach pitch game.
Can I tell you a Little League sports thing that blew my mind that I don't know if is familiar to you?
Yeah.
The Flagrant Ones podcast that I talk about a lot. One of the hosts is a basketball coach for his son's team, and his son's team is great. And they're like little kids. They, instead of having finals, like bracketed finals, or even like here are the top two teams, they're going to see who's first place. The end of the season is determined by shootout. It's just like you have a certain amount of time on the clock, and you get different teams will do like a shootout against each other, like knockout style, I guess, where it's like you're on the foul line and then you shoot and then I shoot. That was the first part that I thought was weird to me. The second part, like most of the teams don't show up. Like the host, his son was the number one team this year. And not everyone RSVP'd, and of the people who did RSVP, only 2 players showed up. So it was just like 2 on 3. Like all the parents by the end of the season were like, "All right, that's enough basketball. We don't need to know who wins the season."
That's great, actually. I mean, I don't like that that they think that basketball is just the shots.
It was not my experience
the game.
playing basketball when I was a kid. We played the whole time. And we had like we had finals, we had championships. There was one year that my team was undefeated in the regular season, which is the kind of thing that happens for players like me, because they
You're so
will they evaluate the players in like camp before the season starts, and then they stick really bad players like me with really good players. And so I had maybe the best player in 6th grade at that time on my team. I had Kevin Durant, Slim Reaper, and me.
Yeah.
So we went undefeated in the regular season, and then we get into the championship, and we lost our first game in that, and then we were out of contention. And it was tough, but like it mirrored basketball at least. I wouldn't have understood it if I just showed up one day for a game. And they're like, no. Now it's just shooting. I was like, oh,
we're just doing.
Oh no.
We're playing horse to determine who gets the trophy.
We were so I think you can agree that I'm not responsible for our undefeated season, but I could better hide my weaknesses because I wasn't shooting. Now, if it's just shooting,
That should have
there
come.
goes all my coverage.
I see all the other kids did not come. That should have been. I should have done that. I was in a very similar situation to you because I played basketball in 5th through 8th grade, and when I was in 8th grade, I couldn't. It couldn't have been 5th. It was only available to 7th and 8th. We played like JV essentially in 5th and 6th, but the actual like competitions against other schools was happening in 7th and 8th. 8th was such a good team. The Carbondale middle school team was so fucking stacked that they went all the way. And I was not included in the stacked part. I was part of the team because I went to the school, but I was allowed to play the last 30 seconds of a game unless it was tight, in which case maybe the last 11. God. And that was like, you couldn't do enough damage in that time to be a problem, so they'd let me play that time. Then, because the 7th grade team didn't have enough players, I'd play on the 7th grade team. And that's tough when everyone in the stands knows that you're in 8th grade and you're playing with the 7th graders. It's rough.
Were you shining as the older male?
Well, so that's the silver lining. No, not at all. I was not even as good as the 7th graders at the time, making a lot of mistakes out there. The first day that I made a basket, I was playing with the 7th graders. Like the first game I actually had a basket, I was playing with the 7th graders, and I was so fucking jacked. The rest of the night, the rest of the week, I was like, I scored in a game. It's 2 points, Dan. It's like everyone's supposed to have scored in basketball. That's sort of the whole point of basketball. It's not like soccer where you get 1 goal every month. Like you're supposed to have scored more than a couple baskets a game, like regardless of where you play.
The famed undefeated season, I did not score a single basket for an entire season, which like genuinely, because I liked playing basketball. I hated playing Little League Baseball, but basketball I enjoyed playing, and I was fine like if my contribution was running around and getting in the way and occasionally stealing a ball. I felt good about that kind of thing. But my lack of scoring was so loud that when I did take a shot and it looked close, other people's dads got excited. Like everyone knew by mid-season, everyone was like, wouldn't it be great if he scored 1? Wouldn't that be a huge moment? We've all noticed. How do you even notice that? You're supposed to be watching your own fucking kid.
Yeah. I look back on that experience and I was like, why did I do that? Why did I just fucking quit? Like it was humiliating, but I did it anyway. And I couldn't vacillating between trying to decide if I was really proud of myself and that was very brave, or just like I didn't know any better. And I was like, well, I'm on a team. I'm not Joel Gomez. I'm not crushing it every single game, but I'm part of the team. I'm helpful.
Yeah.
Just delusional.
I have to assume I bear a fraction of responsibility for our undefeated season. I have to. Surely I'm not.
You must have done something.
I'm not nothing. I'm not a liability.
So, my kids are playing baseball. And now there is a thing where they do walk-up songs. All the kids get walk-up songs. It's very popular because the pros do it. And it's like one of the most fun part of being at a game where Shohei Ohtani, is coming up because you're hearing I'm Feeling Good all of a sudden by Michael Bublé, that famous song by Michael Bublé. And everyone goes nuts.
Man,
So-
he doesn't get enough credit for all the crazy good songs that he,
he
Michael Bublé,
wrote.
has written.
And so my kids were very into the idea of the walk-up songs. They spent a lot of time thinking about what their walk-up songs were going to be. I love what they landed on. It's a fascinating exploration into your child's psyche when they choose their own walk-up songs, which I'll tell you what they are in a second. But for the time being, I want you to think about this, Daniel. If you were suddenly a baseball star,
Sure.
what would your walk-up song be? You're only getting 15, 20 seconds of the song.
Okay.
Now, my son was like, I was playing some songs for him, and I know songs that he likes, and he was just like not feeling any of them. And I'm like, well, what are you looking for? And he was like, I want a song that starts out real quiet and then explodes. And I was like, oh yeah, of course, that sounds great. And so I'm thinking, am I racking my brain for stuff from the era in which I actually listened to new music? And I was like, dude, I got your song. And I played Bombs Over Baghdad for him from Outkast.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, I love this song. And so that became his walk-up song.
That's
and it's
excellent.
rules. It's a great, great walk-up song. Because it starts out, if you're familiar, it goes, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like, yeah. And then the whole song is just huge and big and fast. And every time that like it gets played out there, you see people like in the stands like bobbing their heads and stuff. Because I think everyone loves Outkast, but
They haven't
also,
heard
like,
it in a while, probably.
Yeah,
Haven't
probably
thought
haven't
about
heard
it in a
It's
bit.
from Stankonia, I think, and
Yeah.
everyone goes crazy for it. The other songs that show up there are like Bad Bunny. Almost every kid has a Bad Bunny song. And
Yeah.
I just don't know Bad Bunny well enough to be like, Ronan, I can't help you in this regard. I could make you very cool in 1998, and that's about it. My daughter has chosen a song by Too Many Zoos. Have you heard of them?
No, I've not heard of Too Many Zoos.
Too Many Zoos is a band. It's a trio. It's a guy who plays bass sax, a guy who plays percussion, and then a guy who plays trumpet. And I have to assume that they started in a Subway, because this
Yeah.
is like the perfect Subway band.
Yeah.
But they're undeniable. They're so fun to listen to. They're very funky and good. She chose a song called Subway Gods by them. And
Well,
every
yeah,
time
that's starting to make sense.
every time that song comes on, I'm like, also like, this is a really good song. Hey, this song's really good. But yeah, most everybody has a Bad Bunny song, and I just have let my children down in that regard, that I can't compete with new music. I just don't.
You know
it.
what's
I gave up.
You know what's interesting and incredibly specific, Paul, is that when you described the makeup of the band, I almost said out loud, I bet the sax player is Leo from Lucky Chops.
Is it?
It's Leo
It is
from
him?
Lucky Chops. Absolutely, yeah.
Is he a bass sax player?
Yeah, Lucky Chops was like I don't even know if they're still around, but they were like a legendary New York subway band. And he
Oh.
especially was like elevating the form. And he always had like a crazy look. He had like a mohawk or big spiky blue hair and really tight clothing. And he was like dancing and doing like crazy footwork while he was playing. So the fact that my brain can't grasp the possibility that there are two successful bass sax fronted bands. So when I heard that there was another one, I was like, oh, Lucky Chops must have broke up or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, it's either him or that guy from Bela Fleck who played two saxophones at once.
Yeah.
Those are your options. Nobody else is sticking with sax that long. Seeing my kids have these walk-up songs and seeing other kids had Eminem and stuff like that, where I was like, oh, actually, yeah, like One Shot or whatever. Is that what that song's called? One Shot? Or The Moment?
No, it's Lose Yourself.
It's called Lose Yourself.
Yeah.
It's called Mom Spaghetti. That other
It's called
kids
Mom Spaghetti.
chose those songs. I'm always like, oh yeah, oh, this is a good walk-up song. Like, they really put some thought into it. I enjoy hearing what these kids have decided is like, this song represents me, and it gets me hyped up, and I really love it. Because like, my daughter also really wanted a K-pop Demon Hunter song too. She was very into Huntrix.
Sure.
And I was like, yeah, I mean, that very first song and that How It's Done is like has a great intro to it. But it made me think about like what I would want as my walk-up song. If I was an MLB player, I put a lot of thought into it. And this is what I landed on, Daniel.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life. Jump in the shower and the blood starts pumping. Out on the streets, the traffic starts jumping. With folks like me on the job from 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5.
Yeah. So anyway,
Hell yeah.
you know how the rest of that goes.
I sure fucking do.
That is a pump up song.
Yeah.
That is like, I love the way that piano's gearing up, and obviously the dulcet tones of Dolly Parton.
Of course.
Everything about that song it's a wonderful song. It's very catchy, and I'm constantly blown away that song was just like, hey, we need a song for this movie.
Yeah.
She was like, okay, and she wrote a fucking hit.
She might have written that and Jolene and I Will Always Love You in one afternoon. Or so there's some like crazy fucking story about Dolly Parton writing 2 or 3 masterpieces in like a shit session. It's crazy.
It's amazing. So what a treasure. Anyway, I don't know that anybody's doing. Is anybody in the MLB doing 9 to 5? I know they're doing Careless Whisper. That's a fun one.
Careless Whisper is the only one that I do know that someone was doing, which is where my brain went. Did we do this episode of the podcast before? It doesn't matter.
I don't
We're
think
pretty
so.
deep in it now. But Careless Whisper is my entry to this because that as someone who doesn't watch a ton of baseball, that news penetrated my algorithm that like, hey, there's a baseball player who walks out to Careless Whisper. Isn't that pretty funny? Because it's such a non pump up song, which does inform my decision. This is going to sound like too many layers of self parody, but I am famously a massive Ben Folds 5 fan.
Yeah.
And like every Ben Folds and Ben Folds 5 fan I've ever met, I don't really care for his one radio hit, Brick. It's the song that
Oh my God.
doesn't super represent the band. It's got no harmonies for a band that like had harmonies out the fucking ass. These 3 guys who were singing harmonies together constantly. Their one hit doesn't have any harmonies at all. It's just one voice. Another hallmark of that band. Bass player plays an electric bass like an electric guitar. He slaps on distortion a lot. He is a fucking shred machine on bass. And in Brick, he plays an upright bass, which is one of, I think, 2 Ben Folds 5 songs where he plays an upright bass. And it happened to be the one that became a hit. The other thing about this band, there are swears in their songs, and they're goofy and they're stupid and they're storytelling songs. And the fact that they got famous for this one that was like a sad, true story about an abortion on Christmas Eve or the day after Christmas, without harmonies and without an electric bass, is like, this is the least Ben Folds 5 song I could think of. And I would go to his concerts and like they would play Brick and be like, I guess it's obligatory that they have to play this song. I don't love it. I'll go to the bathroom now. And I loved when enough time had passed that they and he had stopped playing that. It was like, we've weeded out the people who are only here for Brick. Now we just play the other songs that true Ben heads love and know. All that said, I think
one. Let's try it. Let's just try it on.
The start of that song is so funny.
Let's
it's
try
so
it on.
funny to. I don't have anything that can play music right now.
I have it right
okay,
here.
do it.
Oh, that's a single from Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts on first base. No outs. Now up to bat. Daniel O'Brien. I forgot that there's a big long intro. Stepping out of the box.
6 a.m. day after Christmas. I throw some clothes.
Taking off his watch. Forgot to take off his watch.
The smell of
Now he's ready. Ready to bat.
That
That's
song
a
has
real fun one.
that's the intro to that song has gone from like, oh, this again, I gotta skip this, to just like a funny punchline in and of itself to me that I'm just so crazy about. I don't think you need to know that I'm a huge Ben Folds 5 fan for that to still be a funny thing to
No.
come up somewhere.
It's
But I
helpful.
just-
It certainly makes it even funnier. But
My brother ran a half marathon a couple years ago, and his wife put together a running playlist that was shared with me so we can add songs, because she was like, I know some stuff that he likes. I'm gonna pull some stuff that is on his other playlist, but like throw in a bunch of things that you use to get pumped up while you're running. And he's not gonna know the playlist in advance, and they're just gonna like pop up while he's running. It was like, absolutely, say no fucking more. And I put a bunch of legitimately like fun, upbeat running songs, and also Brick by Ben Folds 5, because I'm thinking if he's at mile 11 and he's just running on fumes and he's like, I just need something to get me into the home stretch, and then there's nothing dumber and funnier to me, because even if you've never heard the song before, if you were just like an international baseball fan who's seen his first baseball game and that song comes on and it's the first time you've ever heard it, you'd be like, I think this is about abortion in winter. This is a sad, just no one's even spoken yet. And this sounds like a sad song. There's no way this turns around and is like, I love being alive. This is a bummer of a song.
it's got an extra layer too of being not just about abortion, but about the person who's getting the abortion fucking dragging you down in the dirt, man.
Yeah.
Dragging you down to the bottom of the sea. What they should really do is take that song and put it in a Lego movie. It is perfect for a Lego movie.
What do you mean?
It's called Brick. And it's like a guy who's in love with a Lego lady. She's a brick.
I can't believe I fell for that. Sorry. I'm so tired.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the fact that you have a baby very much today.
I have an 18-day-old baby, and it's been going great. Like we've been, knock on wood, very lucky with everything. And everyone talks about the first 2 weeks being a blur. I don't think that's been the case with us. And you get prepped for sleeplessness.
Yeah.
And I didn't super believe that, because like the baby just needs to eat every 3 or 4 hours, and you'll go to sleep, and then you'll wake up at the 3-hour mark, and you'll change the baby, and you'll feed the baby, and then you'll wrestle the baby down to sleep, and the baby will go to sleep, and then you'll sleep for 3 more hours or 2.5 hours and get up and do it again. And then morning comes. And the first few days of that, I was like, this counts as sleep to me. I've been backpacking before, and I think I've had sleeps that were less restful than the little 3-hour chunks that I'm getting now. But the thing is, Soren, is I backpacked for like 2 nights.
Yeah.
And now when it starts to dawn on us that we haven't had more than 4 hours of sleep in a row in over 2 weeks, it just starts to add up, and we're just very sleepy and a tiny bit insane.
It is
which
a bit
is
of
fine.
Yeah. It's a bit of it's not intentional, but it is sandbagging when people say the first 3 months, for instance, are a blur, or like it'll all go by so fast. They're not actually remembering that. It's because the memory is a blur. In the moment, it feels interminable.
We are
feels
so
long and boring.
Sometimes there's a little bit of boredom, and that's mostly when Shay's asleep in the middle of the day and the baby's asleep, and I don't have the energy to like exercise really or do most of my things, but I'm not a good napper. So then I'm bored when like everyone's asleep and I can't watch one of the shows that Shay and I are watching together. And so I've just been rewatching West Wing again and was like, I'm bored. But generally it's not bored and doesn't feel interminable. I mean, the thing, when people say it's a blur, that feels so insane to me, because we still just love staring at our son and
Right. Oh yeah, you're early on.
and playing with him and like talking with him and sticking my tongue out and he sticks his tongue out and it's a lot of fun and we're just like touching his fingers and his toes and all that kind of stuff. All that seems fun and we're so present for it. We're just both we're never staring at a thing together the way that we're staring at our son Cooper together.
Yeah. So I think you're right. I think I'm jumping the gun a little bit here when I say that it's long and boring. Because it has the memories a blur to me.
Yeah.
At the time though, what happens is that when your child is old enough to sit up and kind of like explore things, it's fun to see them discover a new thing, discover that they can pass things from one hand to another and stuff like that. The achievements are few and far between around there. And I made a very pointed decision early on that I would not be on my phone around my son when he was born because I didn't want him being interested in this thing that I had all my attention, like had me wrapped. So I was just not going to do that. And so it was a lot of me just like spending time with just him and
reading pornography from a magazine.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not I'm not a robot.
You got to look at something.
And so there's a lot of time where they're just lying there or just sitting there and like looking at one brick over and over again, or like they need your help with something. Yeah, it is brick. It's like it's so boring. It's so boring. And then eventually they get old enough where they want to play pretend. And that's a worse kind of boring.
Sure.
That's like, and so I think early on, you're right. It's like staring at a very interesting fire. Where like, it's so nice to look at.
We do trade off, my wife and I, depending on our level of energy, which one of us is more interested. Because like I'll be sitting there staring at him with him on my knees and just like looking at him, and he hung the moon. He's the whole world, and I'm like, honey, look, it's the boy. Look, it's his face and it's his nose.
He's still here.
And she'll put her phone down and be like, yes, let's sing and play with the boy. And then sometimes it's reversed where I'm just trying to look at my phone for a second and Shay's like, look,
the boy.
Look at the thing. And it's like, oh, yep, okay. Still doesn't even know how to smile yet, huh? All right. Okay.
But my hazy memories are, I was constantly looking for my children to unlock new achievements so that I could actually play with them that early, where I was just like, wow, this is a real long-term investment that we've saddled up next to. Like, this thing can't even hold its own head up.
Yeah.
I'm responsible for this head every single day. And if it bends in the wrong way, my child will die.
We have a really helpful test case right across the street. Our neighbors who we are friends with, they have like an 18-month-old or so we see all the different things like that's in our future
on the horizon,
in the good and bad. Like it's so fun to see her running, like we watched her grow up because we've been living here for over a year, and it's fun to see her like now she's toddling around and she's climbing on things, and I'm just like, this is gonna be sick when my boy learns about climbing. But I'm also talking to my neighbor who's like, yeah, if you think it's hard to get a diaper on a squirmy 7-pound thing, just imagine wrestling that to get a diaper on that. And I was like, oh, I guess it hadn't occurred to me that we're doing diapers for 2 years or whatever it is, and that it will be like, he's already pretty strong when you're trying to get a diaper on him.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to get a diaper on a 14 or 20-pound kid without like leaning with my full weight, an arm on their chest. I don't know. It's I guess we're gonna find out.
Yeah. Is it? When you look at that other baby that's now 11 months old and you see its feet, are you like, oh my God, those are giant feet? This thing is huge.
I guess I don't look at her feet.
Oh, you should.
You're always looking at feet and shoes.
Yeah, it's important. It's how you determine the worth of a person. No, I do remember that moment when I had a newborn and we had friends who brought over their baby who was older. And first of all, I was blown away by how stinky the poops were. Even in the diaper, I was like, oh, that solid food is really, we're eating poison, clearly. We should all just be drinking breast milk the rest of our lives. This comes out great. But then also just seeing this other baby's feet, I was like, those are baby feet, but they are gigantic. They're huge. My child's feet will never be that big. getting clothes from people where you're like, my baby will never grow into this. My baby's
Yeah.
never gonna fit in this. Yeah, remember that feeling. Anyway, it's gonna get boring. It's gonna get
I know.
boring.
We're watching we're watching Mad Men. Shay's never watched it, and I never finished it. So we started watching Mad Men to have just on in our house every second that we're awake. And there's an episode in the first season where it's Sally Draper's birthday party, and Don, his whole arc in the episode is he builds her a playhouse in the backyard, goes to pick up a cake, comes back with the cake, decides he doesn't want to be at his house anymore, drives away with the cake, falls asleep in the street, wakes up, smokes a cigarette, comes home with a dog, and I'm not thinking about the bailing on his own party and forgetting to bring home a cake and getting drunk in the street. But I am watching that episode. They make a whole point to show that he's getting lit the entire fucking day. He's got a beer in his hand at all times while he's building this playhouse, and the other wives are watching him build the playhouse, and they're like, now that's a man. And then when he's done and the guests show up and he's not building the playhouse anymore, he's just got a scotch in his hand as the kids are running around and all the men are drinking and all the wives are also drinking and the kids are just running around. I'm watching that holding my 18-day-old kid and just thinking, hell yeah, one day.
That's gonna be me. See that man
One
hitting
day.
somebody else's child? That
Yeah,
man
yeah,
who
yeah.
just sees somebody else's kid be in bed and smacks
That's
him.
going to be my buddy Joe. That's going to be Joe hitting someone's kid. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's there. It becomes. I mean, obviously there are amazing moments. It rarely does it feel amazing in the moment itself, though. It's like the memory of the moment that really you start to really treasure. But the day to day is it gets so mundane because you're not watching TV and you're not on your phone, and all these things that would ordinarily are like your stimulus. Like, and they provide like a really consistent hit of dopamine. Now you're relying on just this child to give it to you, and you're like, we got to come up with some new things for you to do. I'm going to create a maze. I'm going to do that. And like, you're building things for your kid. Like, you're just trying to, and when my son was really little, I was like putting him in small spaces. I was just like, let's see if he fits in the microwave. He does. He fits. Look at that.
I'm still finding tremendous joy in reading and discovering children's books. Not the emotional ones, like we haven't gotten to Where the Wild Things Are or anything like that, or any of these things that are going to like make me weep as I'm reading them. It's still very books that he is not comprehending at all, that I'm just reading for the first time and giving commentary, because it's these weird books where it's a bear is missing its hat and he goes around and asks other animals, have you seen my hat? And then it turns out a different animal stole the hat. And then I think we learn by the end that
He eats the animal.
a third animal kills and eats that animal that stole the hat, and the bear just gets his hat back. And these are fun things to just like, that's the part of the story that's for daddy. You get the part where it's like, look, it's a bear with a hat. Have you ever seen such a crazy thing? And I get to hold this dark story in my heart. We both get something.
You're going to try out so many good voices. When you
Oh,
read
it's
those
fun.
stories, you get to just really like, you get to take that out for your vocal cords out for a big ride. You get to be like, I wonder if I could do Scottish. It's not good, but this fucker doesn't know.
There are these high contrast books that I believe we got from sister-in-law that are like Hello Garden or Hello Ocean, where it's all black and white in patterns that are really exciting for a newborn. They love the high contrast black and white stuff. And narratively, the book is just like, hello octopus, hello fish, hello shark, different versions of hello. And I was going and doing fun voices of each thing. And then I turn the page and I get to a thing and it's instead of hello, it's bonjour jellyfish. And I get to that and I think, well, I didn't read ahead and I'd already independently decided that the squid was French. So now what the fuck am I supposed to do with you don't need to put anything on it. I'm going to decide who's from where in the sea.
There's one called the pout pout fish, and you really get to like explore voices with that one, because the pout pout fish meets all these different animals that are fucking mad at him for being such a stick in the mud, And so you meet a jellyfish and you meet an octopus and stuff. And deciding on what they're all going to sound like is so fun.
I do need to read ahead more, because when I was reading the Who Stole My Hat book, and I was like, oh, a bird's going to sound like this. I know, saw your hat. And then I turn the page and there's a squirrel, and I'm like, fuck, that would have been a good squirrel voice. Shit. Oh.
Yeah, nah, what am I going to do for the squirrel? They're going to be, okay, they share a lane.
Yeah.
A Cooper, they share a lane. I hope that's all right. There's a book called, I think it's called The Going to Bed book. Yeah, The Going to Bed book. Do you remember you've probably seen these books before. It's like really kind of black and white, mostly crudely drawn animals. And this one, they're all on a boat together and they're getting ready for bed.
Okay, no.
This one's a great one. But you're discovering new things along the way as you're reading it. And I was pretty convinced throughout reading the Going to Bed book, as all these animals are like putting on pajamas and brushing their teeth and everything, that there is a paraplegic pig.
Oh.
in it. That all the other animals can walk except for this one pig. Because the pig is always either sitting down or being carried somewhere. And I was like, really like flipping through the book, curious about it. There's one page where I think you see him up on his feet, but everything else, like they also get up on the top of the ship and exercise. That piggy's doing a handstand. And so I was like really excited by these little developments. These, that cracked part of your brain. It's like, you know what I think? I think that there's something else going on here. And you're going to find a lot of those. You'll find a lot of them in fucking Winnie the Pooh, man. Winnie the Pooh's full of those.
This donkey book, where the pattern of the book is you just add another. It's like, there was a donkey, but this donkey had 3 legs. He's a wonky donkey. There was a donkey. He had 3 legs and 1 eye. It was a winky wonky donkey. And it builds on that. There's like funky, like all the different things that you could do. And it's a lot of fun. But meanwhile, in the page where we learn he has 1 eye, there's like a bird clutching his eyeball, flying away with it.
Oh, wow.
People are just running fucking wild in children's books. It's
You're allowed
nuts
to do
out
whatever
there.
you want.
I'm also reading because I've learned that my educational books and the doctors have stressed that like he is not receiving anything other than the cadence of speaking voices. So you can read anything to the kid; it doesn't really matter. So I'm also reading what I'm currently reading, which is Mother Night by Kurt Vonnegut, which is about a lot of things. But to say a lot in a little, it's a double-crossing spy for the Nazis writing propaganda. So I'm just reading a lot of. I'm saying Hitler and Himmler
a lot
to my son
you
more
get
often
him
than I
with
think.
those names. You want to get him comfortable hearing those names, just like the fun
I
way
do
they
want to
leave the mouth.
It makes me want to reach out to my doctor because, like, look, I know you said that it doesn't matter what I'm saying, but let me just tell you what I'm saying, and then you can reevaluate.
I don't think you should stop. I think that's great.
I'm not gonna.
All right, everybody. I think that's going to do it for us today. We talked
Hell
about
yeah.
a lot. We talked about the old days. We talked about the present. And we talked about the future.
Uh-huh. And we talked about baseball walk-up songs, which I'm 90% positive we did.
We already did. We did
Doesn't
do
matter.
like the first 5 seconds of a song before. And we're like, what songs do you love the first 5 seconds of or something like
Yeah.
that? But I think that might have been it. All right, anybody. Blah, 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 blah. If you liked the songs we listened to today, go find them. If you like the theme song of this, it's by me, Rex. If you like this podcast and you want to watch a video version of it, you can do that on YouTube. If you like this podcast so much you want more of it, then you go to our Patreon and you can become a Patreon subscriber. And we do Patreon episodes as well. If you like this podcast just in general, the way that it's put together, the way that it sounds or looks, that's all Gabe Harder. Thank you, Gabe Harder. And you're ours forever. Goodbye.
Bye.
I've got a quick question for you, alright? I wanna hear your thoughts, I wanna know what's on your mind. I've got a quick question for you, alright? The answer's not important, I'm just glad that we could talk tonight. So what's your favourite? How did you get? When will I be remembered? Was it ever? Where did all the other weeks? Oh, forget it. Saw a movie, then you fans and comedy writers. If there's an answer, they're gonna find it. I think you'll have a great time here. I think you'll have a great time here.